everyone, it is your virtual sports chiropractor, Dr. Heather here. And actually, if you've seen some of my posts on various different types of foot and ankle injuries, you may be wondering, okay, well, Dr. Heather, how do I actually strengthen my ankles? What are some really great exercises that I can do to go ahead and make sure that my ankles are nice and strong? Well, I've answered that question for you guys, and I've put together my top 10 ankle strengthening exercises for you guys. These are great if you're somebody who does suffer from shin splints, Achilles tendonitis, tight calves, or maybe you're also wondering how to really work that kinematic chain, which is something I talk about in all of my videos, because it's important not just to work where the problem area is to actually work that whole entire leg, because guess what? It's not just running that is a single leg sport. Many of the activities that we do throughout the year are single leg activity, so we want to address that entire kinematic chain. Now, if you haven't started to follow me on social media, go ahead and click the subscribe button today. And if you're looking to kind of actually have some questions answered regarding your own pains, aches, and ailments, do go ahead and book that free consult with me. There's no obligation, no cost involved, but it's a chance for me to give you a little bit better insight into what might be going on and how we can better address it. All right, guys, I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want to get right into it because we have 10 exercises to look at to help strengthen the foot and ankle, and I want to get to it now. So now here are the 10 exercises I've put together to help strengthen your ankles. So this way they feel stronger, they feel safer for whatever activity you're going to do. Now remember, this is just my top 10. There are a ton of exercises out there that you could do to help strengthen the ankles. But what we're going to do is we're going to start from very basic and build our way up and using different things to create balance and proprioception activity for the foot and ankle. I've also gone ahead and broken these up into chapters so you guys can go ahead and skip around where needed. Now granted, you would want to go ahead and do these in a nice progression as you're seeing in this video now, but if you don't have certain things, you may want to stop at that point. Some of the things you are going to see in here is the use of a BOSU and the use of a TRX. And if you're looking to purchase them, click one of the affiliate links down below and you can make that purchase today. Otherwise, majority of the gyms do have access to these two pieces of equipment, so go ahead and use them wisely. All right, so we're going to start with our static exercises. So the first exercise we're going to start with is actually just a basic and simple squat. I'm going to show you guys from a side position just so you can see it. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have my feet kind of spread a little bit wider than shoulder stance, and I'm going to make sure that I'm actually not dropping my chest too far forward, and I'm allowing for my ankles to really kind of feel some flexion by allowing the toes to kind of want to lift up as we do this. So as I come down into my squat, you can see my toes kind of elevate a little bit in the shoes because I want to focus on really pushing up and driving up through the heel. So again, I'm coming down and I'm pushing straight up, just like so. If you want to start getting a little bit more dynamic and you feel like your lower legs can handle it along with knees, low back, you can start to go ahead and squat down, elevate up onto the toes, come back down, elevate up onto the toes, getting ready to actually do a jump squat, which would be the next activity you could do from here, is allow for yourself to hit those jump squats. The next exercise is going to be a static lunge. For demonstrations of the video, I'm going to show you guys with my right leg forward. So here I am, I'm in my lunge stance, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my hips are actually kind of tucked under me. My glute is engaged on my left side, and from here when I drop down into my lunge, I should have a nice 90-degree angle at the front part of my knee, and I'm going to come up from here. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and drop up and down into the lunge form. Now again, if you want to get a little bit more dynamic, you could go ahead and add in some plyometric moves, which would be a split jump lunge. So from here, I would simply go ahead and jump into my lunge position, just like so. If you don't think you can do that just yet, stick with the static lunge. The next is actually going to be something really basic and simple that I talk a lot about in my shin splint videos, as well as my ankle videos regarding Achilles tendonitis. So what we want to do now is just practice simply standing on one leg. Standing on one leg really allows for some balance to start to happen here, where you can go ahead and you can start to feel the foot and ankle really have some good mobility movement going, and it allows for the glute on that side to really engage, meaning the glute on my right side. Now again, you may not have a friend like me who likes to share the spotlight, but if you do, they add for an extra challenge when performing some of these activities. Now the next one we want to get to is what's called a single leg toe touch. Now a lot of times when doing a single leg toe touch, you'll see a lot of people drop far forward with their chest trying to do the toe touch like so. We're going to change it just a little bit because we're actually going to want to try to get it so that we're almost performing like a pistol squat in some ways. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, lift my left leg up, take my left hand, and I'm going to slowly run it down my right leg and come back up. I'm going to turn this way so you guys can see it a little bit better. So from here, I'm going to lift my left leg up, take my left hand, and notice I really focus on not dropping my chest down, but allowing for a good flexion to happen at the foot and ankle, allowing for my glute to fully engage on the way up. Just remember something, when we're doing any exercises to help strengthen our ankles, we do want to work the whole kinematic chain. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, I talk about this a lot in all of my videos, but I also talk a lot about it with all of my telehealth patients. And if that's something that interests you, if you're looking to kind of achieve optimal performance and wellness a little bit further for you, I would suggest booking that call. Hit that link that you see on the screen now and book the call with me, and let's take a look at those ailments. But like I said, that's something I really discuss further in the videos and with all of my patients that work with me via telehealth. So what we're looking at doing is really working the whole entire leg on that side, because the majority of the sports that you're involving yourself with are single leg activities, especially those that are doing running. So now that we've gone ahead and done our static moves, now we're going to add in some balance. And like I said, we're going to start with the BOSU. So I have my trusty BOSU here, and if you are looking to purchase one, do me a favor, make sure you actually get a 65 centimeter size BOSU, because you want the full size dome. The smaller versions for a lot of my taller people, it does make it a little awkward, plus those two, you may feel like your knees are tracking more out versus being on a 65 centimeter BOSU. So again, I'm going to kind of show you from a side position. Now, this isn't really one of the exercises to start to utilize to strengthen your ankles, but I always recommend come onto your BOSU with 2 feet. So whether you're using the dome side or the flat side, make sure you come onto the BOSU first, get your balance, get your proprioception, get that body awareness going before you perform any activities. Now the first exercise we're going to do on our BOSU is actually a squat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our feet are shoulder width apart and that the center of my foot is actually lined up with the center of the BOSU. Now from here we're going to go ahead, we're going to drop down into our squat, and then we're going to come up. You don't necessarily have to hold, but the idea here is to kind of go down in a nice smooth motion and coming back up. If you're unfamiliar with doing squats on a BOSU, you may notice a lot of shaking at first, and that's just the muscles starting to kind of incorporate the balance activity. Now, the next one is we're going to start doing some single leg balance. So again, now I'm going to have the foot dead center on top of the BOSU, and now from here, always I recommend first just come up, see what it feels like to stand on one leg, and then from there, go ahead and bring that leg up towards you. And again, this is where we're just going to feel that foot and ankle mobility going on. Now, once you've kind of achieved that and you think you're ready, next is to actually try that toe touch that we did on the floor. So now, even though my trusty friend here, he likes to do the exercise, but he's got 4 legs, we're going to try doing it with just 1 leg. So we're going to come on up, we're going to focus, find a focal point in front of you, bring the leg up, and once you feel comfortable, you're going to go ahead and bring that hand down towards the knee, and then pushing right back up through the heel, and then you're going to kind of, if you have to, put the foot down onto the BOSU, regroup, and then repeat and do it again. And again, even for somebody like me who hasn't practiced it in a while, It's going to take a little bit of practice to get that going. Now the next exercise we're going to do is some front squats and back squats. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kick our BOSU slightly forward. We're not going to stand too far away from it, but the idea now is to go ahead and do some front lunges onto the BOSU, allowing for that foot and ankle to really feel kind of the weight of the workout. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to take our foot, place it dead center on top of the BOSU. Once we're there, go ahead, get up onto the back foot, drop down into that lunge, and then come back off. So again, you're going to come, hit the foot here, and then push yourself back off. And this is a great exercise because it does allow for the quad, the glute, the hamstring, and the entire lower leg to really engage. The next one becomes a little bit tricky because now what we're going to do is we're going to do a back lunge. And what's going to happen is we're going to stand on top of the BOSU first, get our foot nice and centered, and then we're going to step back, get our body awareness, get our position, drop down into the lunge, and then coming back up. So again, coming back, dropping down, and coming back up. So I'll show that one to you guys again. So you're coming back, stepping into that lunge, and then coming back up. So again, those are some exercises you can do with the BOSU to attack. Now yes, you could flip the BOSU over on the flat surface and do the squats and do the single leg toe touches on that side, but for purposes of this video, I stuck with the dome side today. Now the next thing we're going to go into is actually going to be the TRX. And again, some of you may not have access to one at home, but you may have access to one in a gym. And if you do, great. It's a great tool to really kind of start working on ankle mobility exercises. Now the two that we're going to address in this video happen to be a TRX Balance Lunge and a TRX Suspended Lunge. These are very advanced moves, so if you don't think your form is that great, or if you've been experiencing other types of pain issues, like knee pain, maybe more kind of some Achilles Tendonitis issues, you may not want to do these exercises just yet, but like I said, if you're uncertain of what type of condition you may be suffering with or why things keep reoccurring, book that call with me and let's try to figure this out together because I might be able to shed some light on the subject for you. Now, we're going to go ahead and like I said, we're going to do a TRX Balance Lunge first. So I'm going to grab my TRX and I'm going to come and I'm going to get myself so I'm centered to my anchor point. My arms are going to start at 90. Before even getting into the balance lunge, I always recommend step back into your lunge, make sure your body positioning is appropriate for the height that you hung your TRX and for the anchor point that you're using. So you might be using a door mount or you might be suspended straight up like from a pendulum like I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in, we've gotten our body awareness set so we know where we should be. And now from here, we're going to come back into that lunge and come back up. Notice that I don't touch the floor with the back leg. I'm nice and easy right here, and I'm hitting that lunge. So again, that's the TRX Balance Lunge. Now we're going to go into the Suspended Lunge. So now for this one, we're going to lower the straps a little bit more because you do want them at ankle height. You do want them at mid-calf height. Now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to place the leg through the TRX. So I've gone ahead and overlaced my TRX straps. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one foot into the TRX. From here, I do want to try to get myself as centered as possible with the TRX itself. So I'm going to just move a little bit over. And now from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop back into my lunge and then I'm going to come back up. I'm going to drop back into my lunge and come back up. The whole entire time maintaining and keeping a nice upright posture. During this exercise, you may feel more burnout in the calf and ankle when doing it. So there you have it. Those are essentially my top 10 for helping in strengthening the ankles. Because ankles are so crucial for the majority of our activities that we're doing, whether it's running, hiking, cycling, even going rock climbing, and then eventually when we have that ski season again, our ankles do play an important role even for the ski season. Now, if you have more questions, do go to my website, check out some of my online services and online courses that are designed to really help you achieve your optimal performance and wellness today. Again, guys, this is Dr. Heather, your virtual sports chiropractor, and I will catch you in the next video.